that. Talk to me. Tell me. Well, first of all, even with Bars being in the room and stuff too, let's first start from the beginning. Remind us all about your business, obviously your name, your business name, Instagram handle, all that. And then let's
Okay.
break that down and then we'll start from there.
Okay. So my name is Jayla Daniels. I run the 4 Event Center in Atlanta. And I found you guys through obviously an Instagram ad. It was something you were talking to Chris and you were like, come here, look. And you explained this like the whatever. I joined the webinar and I bought the course. It was probably like midnight. I was watching it at midnight and I watched it and I came back at midnight. I'm like, I need to just pull the trigger. Right. So I bought the course and that was probably 2 years ago that I bought the course.
Oh.
And so I sat with it and I ran. So full transparency, I did a little bit of the course and I was like, okay, I know enough. I ran the ad without really understanding the retargeting aspect. So I got some results and then it started to taper off because I didn't really fully understand the fullness of it. So I went into like Google ads.
Okay.
And so for me, the Google ads work well for my business, but I understood that like you're just leaving money on the table. Everybody that comes to me, they check my Instagram anyway. They're checking our socials anyway. So it's like, why are you not capturing them where they're trying to find you and just funnel them right into the business from there? Like Google is great, but when they Google you, they're going to click on your Instagram. So all roads lead back to these like meta ads. And so I'm like, okay, let me figure this thing out, let me figure out how to actually do it well. And then I was going to go back through the course. And I'm like, at this point, 2 years ago when I found you, my business was just about to open. So I had all the time in the world. Right.
Okay.
Now, 2 years later, I'm like deep into this business. We're making our way to our first 6 figures, all these things. I'm like, I just can't sit and like, I just can't sit and like, go through a course right now. I just couldn't. It's a great resource to like refresh, but I can't go through this right now. So I think I signed up for something else and your team is good. Like they called, they followed up. I was like, okay, not right now. I kind of hemmed and hawed. But then I got to a point where I was like, but Jayla, what are we doing? Like, if it costs you 5,000 to make another 6 figures, isn't that worth it? So that's what I did. And give me 1 second, okay? Downstairs. Close the door. Close the door. So that's what I did. Sorry. Okay. And then I forgot where I was at. Oh, if it cost me the accelerator program, that's what it was. When I was talking to your team over the phone, they were just asking like, well, what if you have the course, why aren't you doing it? You have all the information. So what is stopping you from getting to that next level? And I'm like, that's when I realized like, Jayla, you just don't have the time to sit and go through this course so deep in your business. If I had done it in the beginning the right way, then it probably would have saved me $5,000, but I didn't. So I had to learn the hard way of like, going back and so on and so forth. I think that it was also a little overwhelming. Like it's just so much information. It's so detailed that I'm like, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. What is like the basics that I need to do? And then I can go back into the detail. And I think when I started watching it, and then, I have clients calling and then I'm having emails coming in, like to really sit and dedicate the time that's needed to understand the information, I just didn't have at that point.
Right.
And I think I just got overwhelmed with like, okay, every time I start, somebody calls me. Every time I do this, something happens. And I can't just dedicate 3 hours a day to it like I could have back then. And so that was the biggest like hurdle for me with the course the second time. Yeah.
Okay. So the Social Sales Lab being on its own, agenda, very self-paced for those that don't want the extra hand-holding or accountability can definitely be like a struggle if you're somebody who is just busy or, and the reality is you're a business owner. So that makes sense. Right. And you don't really need 3 hours a day. We ask for like dedicate 2 hours a week, but still you have to be on it and launch it and then
locked in.
Yeah, very locked in. So before we get into everything else, like what was to you, from your experience, like the biggest difference between the social sales lab and the accelerator?
Um, well, Aaliyah, who was a big difference maker. I think also my learning style, like I like this. That's why I chose the Zoom. I could have recorded a video, but I like this. This is helpful for me to
Yeah.
have a person to touch, to ask questions. They're responsive. I think it also made me feel good about spending the investment, knowing that like anytime I typed a question or if I mentioned somebody, somebody is responding. Even if it wasn't the person that I mentioned, there's a instant response. So it helped me feel comfortable with like, I've made the right decision.
Yep.
Um, and then the other thing was that I already had the course. So I knew that you guys knew what you were doing. It just
Okay.
was a matter of me being able to retain the information and apply it in a way that makes sense. So having that, like, having it taught in these small chunks. Okay, here's an hour. I can shut off
Yeah.
everything. Let me get everything I need in this hour. Let me implement it by Thursday, having solid deadlines. Like, I just told myself, if I don't get it done by this Thursday, then it's just not going to happen because the
Mm,
program's going to run out of time, right? So I had a little bit of time to get this done, and there's the investment. It's
yep.
like if I don't do this, then it's now the investment is wasted too. So I think
Gotcha.
the accountability comes by way of the people, but also the investment that I made. You're going to
Yeah.
get it right this time.
Yeah, absolutely. We call that
Mm-hmm.
skin in the game. And I know you came in on like a special
Mm-hmm.
offer week, but that
Mm-hmm.
that also makes a big difference because there's all these courses and things that are out there, and no one really knows what to do these days because it's gotten so saturated. But I just feel
Yeah.
like if you have something premium that changes people, it's really difficult to try to cheapen that because, even from your perspective in your business, because then they may not be as committed. They may not
Mm-hmm.
really take it seriously. And
Yeah.
like these are resources, these are real people, a whole team. Like
Yeah.
to, understand from both sides that you want results, you got to pay to play, but also it
Yeah.
it makes a big difference, I think, in this format
Yeah,
from
yeah,
what
it
we.
definitely it makes a huge difference. I think that and to your point, like then I go and tell people like, oh, I learned from the social sales lab, but I don't have the results to show. So then it like waters down your brand on that side too of like, well, you're not really that effective. But it's not that,
Mm,
it's that I didn't really try, So
I
it's
see.
a
Yeah.
yeah.
You mean from like when you were taking the course and stuff and you were like, okay, oh, it gave a little thumbs up. You saw it?
Uh-oh. Why are you doing that?
No, it's okay. It's funny. Um, but yeah, exactly. That's a big deal too, that we've seen people that aren't 100% in, then it's like, well, we want to hear the story and the results, and we only could do so much. So that's why I
Yeah.
like this aspect too, because it's way more hands-on. We get to take a peek, tap your shoulder virtually and be like, okay, where we at? What's going on? Let's
Hmm.
take a look. Let's do this. So,
Yeah.
um,
And too, the last thing, the community help, like seeing the other girls. We just happen to have a cohort of just girls, but seeing the other girls just like getting in front of the camera, sharing their content in real time, not being embarrassed about it, like getting the
yep,
feedback. And it's real honest feedback. It's not like it's just a bunch of yes men. They're gonna tell you like, do this
yep,
again. But it's effective, and you see them come back the next week with new results, and you're like, I don't want to be the one that doesn't have my stuff in order either. So
yeah.
it's a lot of accountability on a lot of different angles that really, push you to keep going to get to that finish line.
Exactly, exactly. I love that. Okay, so
Yeah.
besides the team support, when you joined, what were your goals? Like where were you in business before? And you're like,
Hmm.
okay, I need to get to this place that made you decide I'm joining. We're doing this.
Yeah, I so my business, the type of business that it is, it's seasonal, right? So
Okay.
graduation, we see a major surge. The fall, people are going to school, a major surge, holidays, surges. So it's kind of gonna always like ebb and flow to a certain extent, but I would have like a $2,000 month and then I could have a $15,000 month. And
Okay.
that's a very wide like difference,
Yeah.
And so I just needed to understand how to be more in control. I needed more of the driver's seat for the business. And um, the ads helped me to understand how to be more of like a sniper than just like, I'm just going to shoot everything and just hope that something lands,
Yeah.
it helped me be more like intentional with the execution. So,
Yes. Yeah.
um, so we can be just more predictable, you know,
Yep.
like I can't feed my family if I don't know what's coming in. So having a very clear, like, okay, I know if I put this much in, I'm going to get this much out was really helpful.
Yes. And you had experience with ads before, right? I mean, I know the social sales lab part, but you ran Google ads, you ran other type of ads, and
Mhm.
what happened?
The Google ads, so the Google ads do well for us. I just, my thing is like, I'm very much, I need the information. So I don't want to just dump a bunch of money into something blindly. And Google makes
Mhm.
sense to a certain point. I
Yep.
haven't figured out how to fully scale it, but
Okay.
I can feel comfortable with dumping $15 a day in it and the results that it's getting me. But I
Hmm.
don't feel like I have as much control over the Google as much as I do with the Meta. And that's the thing for me is control systems, you know, so that it
Exactly.
can be scaled.
And predictability, that's huge.
Hmm.
I know you mentioned that, but that's one of the biggest reasons why we go so hard with Meta or with advertising in general. We do Google too, but it just serves a completely different purpose.
Hmm.
It puts you on the map in case someone is searching. But in this type of scenario, and most for our clients and students, people people are doing their searches more on social media first and foremost.
Yep.
And they have an opportunity. You're like multiplying your presence there because they're not just searching your name and then going to your site. Okay, they can go down a list, right? But with
Hmm.
Meta, they're having an opportunity to really like immerse themselves in your content, your brand, get to know you, and then take action. Everything's right there where they need it. And they're
Hmm.
going to go there, like you said, anyways. They're already going
Yeah.
to search you there, but
Yeah.
it's more about the intent behind that behavior, that consumer behavior too. So,
Yeah. And I think there was some, I don't know how much I can really say because I know this is like for advertising, but
no, it's okay.
there was some stuff that y'all were saying. I'm like, this is insane. Like dropping a pin on certain locations because I'm a venue owner and this is Atlanta. Everybody has a venue. But to
Yeah,
say, hey, if you spend X amount of time at my five most closest competitors and you're looking for these things, then I can now target you. It's crazy.
yeah,
It's it's insane what you can do with it. And I just feel like back to your last question, Google just doesn't have that.
yeah.
That. Yeah.
That level of detail. Yeah. And
Hmm.
that actually goes back to my question because I was like, what is the difference? Like, I know a social sales app is a course, but this is a completely different beast, not just in the format of it, but
Hmm.
in the curriculum. Just because the social sales lab is, you can get to the advanced stuff there later on in the, like later modules. But here
Yeah.
we're like hitting straight in the jugular in the beginning. Like right off the
Hmm.
bat, you got to know what's really popping off now. So did you notice that? Did you notice any difference in the content or the things that you learned between the two programs?
Between the course and the accelerator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it's the detail of, like you said, how like streamlined you really can get this. Like there is a general framework and it walks you through how to set it up and it probably would do just fine. But to go so deep into like the layering and the targeted interest and targeting off of emotion, like these
Mm.
things are it's interesting. So that was super helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. When you joined the program, what was your experience? What was one of your first like wins when you first came in? What did you think?
Um, first win. Um, I'm trying to think back because it's been a minute. The first win for me probably was, I don't know that the first win. I think the first aha moment was just the retargeting part. Like I understood the shell, the hot, the cold, warm, hot. I understood all of that because I went through that part of the course. But
Yeah.
just how to like actually set up the retargeting side, I think that was my first like, okay, this is the missing piece that I've been struggling with or just didn't take the time to learn or whatever it is. I think that was the first aha moment.
Okay. Yeah, that's big, especially for someone like you with your like history. You have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
opportunities sitting there, for that
Mm-hmm.
retargeting piece to convert. So, okay. So before the program, how were you really getting business?
Google, we get a lot of leads organically,
Okay.
TikTok, social media, that kind of thing, and
Okay.
Google
Perfect.
ads. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So then you launched, right?
Mhm.
Let's talk about that. How did that go?
The launch was good. I just was like, screw it, I'm just gonna do it. Everything wasn't perfect. I just reused some old content that did well. And I mean, I think I spent like 900, under $1,000 the first like um was it even 1,000? I might have, it was somewhere between 500 to 1,000, and we made like 6,500 off of that first. Yeah, it was like a 2 week turnaround. And
Wow.
for our venue, it's booked revenue, right? So we booked
Yep.
$6,500 worth of events, which
Wow.
is a good. I mean, I'll pay that every day of the week. Like that's a
Yeah,
good return.
that's the goal. Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
So walk us through the process. I know we did the funnel, the targeting, the content, but what, when you went live, what did that process look like for you? Like the ads lead them to what? And then how did you get the booked revenue?
Okay, so I had an issue with my funnel because I had paid another company to get it done and they just didn't. So I
Oh,
was in this like in between phase of like not wanting to lose my money over here, but needing to launch the ad. So
gotcha.
I just ran like a DM campaign
Okay.
and did like just like an automatic messaging, whatever. And I just chose some content that had already done really well on my socials.
Yeah.
So they see the ad, it takes them right to their DM. They ask about pricing, availability, schedule a tour. Once they get to that point, I jump in. I'm like, hey, you want to take a tour? Here's our form. They fill out the form, they come in, they do a walkthrough. But some people, because it's on social media, they can go through our page. Some people just book instantly. So they didn't even like, they didn't even have to take a
Wow.
tour because like we said, it's all already there. They're going to go to the page. They're going to see the decor. They're going to see the space. We have a virtual tour already on the Instagram, so they
Perfect.
don't have to come in. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, we got two or three of those that they're just like, is my date available? Let me hurry up and get it.
That's amazing. All through the DMs.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Ma'am.
Up
Ma'am.
at the
And that's
DM.
you? Or you have,
Hmm.
what's your, do you have a team as well?
It's just me and my virtual assistant.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh my
Hmm.
goodness. Okay. So then what? Like you book in this revenue, are your ads still on?
Yes. So good problem, but a problem nevertheless. The more business that comes in, it exposes like the holes in your system.
Oh,
So now I could crank up the ads, I could scale, but I'm like, I need the business to be able to sustain the volume that I know that I can bring in now. So it solved the problem and showed me how like firm the foundation is. So now that's what we're
oh
working through is like, okay, is our team in place? Do we have enough like linen for turnaround to have these back to back
my
parties?
goodness.
Hmm. So
Wow. Okay. You
it's
better get this money.
good. Yeah, it's good. But also like I cut it off at like not cut it off. I just turned it down. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm running probably like it was $15 to $20 a day. Now I'm at probably like 7 just because we're booked to October. We have no Saturdays from now to October. So I'm like, if I need the revenue, I know how to get it done, but I need the system in place. So if we have 3 parties back to back, like we were having, you know, there's that. And then so this is the last thing, it also opened up um, offsite. Opened up another stream of income. So people are seeing these ads, they're seeing the setup, and they're like, I already have a venue. I just want the decor. I'm like, heck yeah, we can do it. We have the manpower, we have the team. So now, in addition to my venue being booked, now we're doing offsite decor at the same time as the venue fully running. So it just like it expanded so much for us. Yeah.
This is amazing. So booked out till October. That's insane. It's prime summertime right now. Like,
Hmm. We booked
and
all of our Saturdays. Yep.
November, December is going to be like eating up ASAP.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's why we had to dial back because I'm like, okay, now I know how to turn the faucet on and off. I know how to control the flow of it.
Yep.
Let's make sure we don't drown in good opportunity. But that was what I needed the most was like, I know it's working kind of, but I don't know why it's working. Now I have
Mm,
the understanding of why it's working.
yep.
I can make sure that we have the infrastructure and then really take it to where I want to go.
Wow, this is incredible. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah,
Oh
thank
my
you. Thank
God.
you.
Like I know, during the program, I was hearing the feedback and, it was great, but there's a difference once it's over and the dust has settled to be like, okay,
Yeah.
what's been new?
What
So
happened? Yeah.
revenue insane. That ROAS is crazy, by the way. I mean,
Mhm.
that's like a 6, 7. So there's only scalability from here. And finding those other opportunities is like amazing because most are like, all right, well, this is the most I could do. Let me turn it off. You don't want to turn ads off that are doing so well. So
Mhm.
identifying other ways that you can serve people in between time is going to be huge, huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, what it gave for me as a business owner, like at the beginning, there a lot of people are like, you got to go out and have your boots to the ground and like pass out flyers and you got to canvas and you got to do all this stuff and you have to network. And I'm just like, that's not me. I am more introverted than I am extroverted. So it's going to come out really awkward if I'm like, hey, my name, just trying to shove it in your face. Exactly. If I'm trying to shove it in your face. So it's like, this gave me an opportunity to be exactly who I am and target my exact audience without making it weird or uncomfortable. And truth be told, like that's why I'm an entrepreneur, to do things the way that I see fit, to make it make sense for me and my lifestyle. And so
Yep.
the ads gave me the opportunity to like not have to do what everybody said I had to do. I can do exactly what I need and go to the people who are already looking for what I have. Why would I go pass out flyers to 1,000 people who aren't even trying to have a baby shower? So it's
Yeah.
like now I can laser in, save more time, spend the money, who cares? Because it's coming back. And
Yeah.
so I've already made 2 times what I've spent in the program back. I've already made it back and then some. So it's like, why wouldn't I keep spending money to make money?
Yeah. One overarching theme that as a company we've just always lived by is freedom. So I'm just curious, do you feel like there was any level of freedom that was like incorporated into your life since this? You working or you just booked and busy?
I think that so yes and yes. I literally just had a conversation with somebody yesterday and they're like, Jill, aren't you proud of what you've accomplished? And I'm like, I never stopped to look up to think about it, but it's like this year we've already made our revenue for what we did all of last year. And this is only
What?
year two. Yeah, this is only year two for us. So it's like it gave me this understanding, this confidence of like, okay, I can do this actually. Like, and I know what I'm doing now. It's not guesswork. First year is just guesswork. I'm like, well, let's try this sale. Let's try this thing. But now it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know how to fill this venue. I know how to get it done. And so it takes a lot of stress off of it when you don't have a strategy. It's just stressful. It's
Yeah.
100% stress because you're just guessing. You don't know when the
Yep.
next is going to come, when whatever. But it's like I could, if I wanted to right now, I could do X, Y, or Z with these ads. I can put this amount of money in, I'm going to get this return. And there's a
Yep.
clear formula. So now I'm like, okay, I can put myself on salary with this,
Mhm.
like I could sustain my household. I can scale. I can help other venue owners, I can get into more consultation work where I don't have so much overhead. Like
Yep.
it opens so many doors that um and the other side is like people aren't going to go through this. People aren't going to pay and invest in themselves. Not everybody. Some people will, but those that don't, they're going to ask questions and I can say, okay, look, I just signed up for my affiliate link through you guys because I'm like, look,
Oh,
I'm not
good.
going to teach you, but I can show you where I learned and you can go get
Yeah.
this information too because this is how it's going to take you to the next level. So
That's
uh
amazing.
yeah.
I mean, that that as a whole, that's freedom to just free yourself from the fact that like you don't have to be guessing anymore. You don't have to be hustling and be stressed
Hmm.
worrying about where the next lead or sale is going to come from. That is the whole goal, to have a system that's working for you that you have control over, not your business or the algorithm or whatever has control over you, because
Hmm.
that's not why we got into this to begin with, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know, look, I I have a thing with kids, and my thing is when I first started, like I started because I wanted to spend more time with my kids. And it's what, like Wednesday morning, and you're home with your kids, chilling. You have
Mm-hmm.
whatever schedule I can imagine and lifestyle that you have. And I believe it's not
Yeah.
because of just ads, but your hard work and dedication and commitment to doing things your way. Shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, that is the point, you know, and it's like reverse engineering. Okay. At the end of that's one of the things you talked about on the very, very first webinar a long time ago is just, you know, that freedom number. What do you want? Let's begin with the end in mind. How much do you need to bring in? What's the lifestyle how do you support this? And then work backwards to like make that happen. And so now that I have this number and I have the formula to get there, it's like, well, what reason would you not have to have exactly the life that you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That is amazing. Oh my goodness. So what are some goals that you have? Like, what's the future looking like now?
Um, I think for me is um I think for me is going to be shifting more into consultation work. I get a lot of requests now that I'm like the business is doing well. People are kind of seeing what we're doing. I'm getting a lot of requests for like mentorship and consultation and things like that. And so I can use this as a skill set. You know,
Yep.
it's not just this one-off thing that I did for my business. I can go in and help other people kind of accomplish the same thing that I've been able to accomplish. So that's my next step is helping other people get it done.
Yeah. And they
Mm-hmm.
say, to teach people, to help people, you only need to be a couple steps ahead of them. Honestly, you just made in half a year what you did in the whole last year. That scaling
Yeah,
alone is like unheard of. I hope you know that.
yeah. Oh, no, I didn't.
That's incredible. Yeah,
Good.
people
Yeah.
usually jump up, 10, 20% our company's goals, 100%, 150%. Like that's insane. That means you're projected to what, double what you did? I mean, you just
The
did,
double. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's insane. And not to mention now
Yeah.
the skill set where you can multiply and have the other offers and branch out with new ways that you can, offer people your, like you said, the decor, your services, or just even your
Mm-hmm.
intellectual property.
And
So,
that's the thing. I think also, I think the cool thing about just as an entrepreneur going through somebody else's course, seeing it done well at a high level, like everything's branded, everything looks good, it's clean, you guys are on time. Like there's so many layers to like being a part of something that shows me, okay, if I want to do something like this is how I can do it. And the course shows you like, okay, if you're on a webinar track, this is what you can do. If you're on this, so I started with, one side, but if I want to go and run a webinar now, I still have access to
yep,
everything to figure out how to get it done. So I'm not, it's opening so many lanes where I don't have to just guess anymore, And so I think that seeing a framework, seeing it done well, and then being able to like niche down into what I know is missing from the venue space and launch it and having a blueprint to now launching a different type of ad is a game changer, So it's the gift that keeps on giving.
yes. Oh my goodness. So the investment paid for itself. I was going to say it's worth it, right? The investment paid
Mm-hmm.
for itself.
Yeah. And then
But
some for sure.
and all the other ways that, you've grown since has, I think, means more too than even revenue or ROAS or all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just mentally being in a different space from last year, I can see how that could be like game changer for you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing. Okay, last question. For anybody who is like on the fence about joining or working with us, what would you say to them now? Because I know,
Yeah, spend the money, spend it fast, get the best program, the highest, because it just doesn't make sense. It's like there's proven results. You see the testimonies. The only thing that you can do is make your money back. Like if you follow the steps, if you do what is necessary, all you can do is get your money back anyway. And then there's payment plans. There's like all kind of stuff that meets you exactly where you're at so that you can get out of the situation that you're in. And if you're even thinking about it, it means you're in a situation that you don't have a solution to. So you pay somebody who has the information so that you can get out of where you are to get to that next level. And I think that when we hesitate, like I spent significantly more than I needed to if I had just done it the first time,
Mm,
but it was great. the accelerator was great. I got the information. I got a lot more bonuses that I wouldn't have got with that first program. So I'm grateful. But I mean, spend the money. They print it every day. Spend it. Get in the program and get to that next level, because the more you wait, the more the problem builds. You're not going to just learn how to run ads off YouTube. You're not going to get this. So you need to get the investment, take it seriously, and get your money back in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Just hearing
Mm-hmm.
your story, your journey, it's so inspiring, even to us, because, there'll be times where we're like, are we doing the right thing? Is this the way we're supposed to be doing this? Are people, we hear the results and we see it, but like, are people really keeping up with it? And so this is so, so helpful. And I just want to thank you so much for doing this, for answering all the questions, for being so generous with your time.